the channel if you're new, or if you're not, I'm Alyssia and I am stoked you're here. Today's video was inspired by my love for cookies and coffee. Cookies don't need to just be dessert, and lattes are not just for the morning. They are a perfect pairing after all, and today I am sharing some cookie and latte pairings that can be gluten-free for morning, afternoon, and evening. But get this, all of the cookies are also single servings for your craving convenience. I do not want to end up with a dozen fresh baked cookies when a craving hits, because that means I will eat a dozen fresh baked cookies. I will be pairing each cookie with a latte inspired by one of Sigmatic's cool products. They are the sponsor of today's video, and they are all about the magic of functional mushrooms and superfoods. And I'm excited to share their products because they're all organic, gluten-free, instant, and vegan too, actually. My link below will get you 15% off for your first order. Plus, they are currently having their biggest sale of the year, offering 50% off of their most popular products if you'd like to try them out. Let's start with breakfast. I am going with a mushroom oat milk latte paired with an oatmeal raisin cookie. Oat milk lattes are my jam. I became obsessed in Amsterdam a couple years ago. Oat milk lattes were not to be found anywhere in the United States, and then I came back and they exploded. And so it goes. For this latte, I am using Sigmatic's ground mushroom coffee. Don't worry, it does not taste like mushrooms. It actually just tastes like regular coffee, but you get the added boosts from the Chaga, which is great for the immune system, and lion's mane, which helps with productivity, focus, and creativity, so you can see why it's a good one to start your day out with. For the latte, I combine some of the brewed coffee, coconut oil, and cinnamon in a blender. Feel free to add espresso if you'd like, and of course you can add sweetener, but I actually like my lattes less sweet, so I skip it. And that coconut oil helps to really froth it all up. It all goes into my mug, and then I froth some oat milk for the top. This frother is my new favorite thing. I have shown it to you before on the channel. It froths and heats the milk at the same time, and while I find that almond milk doesn't typically froth up very well, this oat milk works great in this little guy. That gets poured on top with a sprinkle of cinnamon, and voila! An amazing, frothy, light, flavorful latte. The roast is balanced and full-bodied, but not bitter thanks to the organic and fair trade beans. I swear you totally do not taste the mushrooms. The coconut oil adds a richness and a creaminess. The oat milk is naturally sweet. I don't even want the added sugar, especially with a cookie on the side. And what kind of cookie would go better with an oat milk latte than an oatmeal raisin? For the cookie, I melt some butter, add sugar, and whisk. I have got to put a few disclaimers out about these cookies because they required a good deal of testing, so bear with me. Because it is a single serving rather than a huge batch, every ingredient matters a little bit more. So granulated sugar works best, coconut sugar works okay, sweeteners are okay if you prefer, but they will affect the texture a bit. Then take a whisked egg and take 1 tablespoon of that as well as some vanilla extract and whisk to combine. I stir in my dry ingredients, which are flour. No surprise, all-purpose works best, but these will work with a 1-to-1 gluten-free alternative if you need, but the texture does take a hit. Same goes for oat flour, as well as baking soda, salt, and cinnamon. Fold your oats and raisins into the dough, and then you can choose if you want 1 large or 2 regular-sized cookies. Transfer whatever you decide to a prepared sheet for your oven. Now, I did also test these in the toaster oven. I really wanted to call this episode like toaster oven cookies, but the truth is they just taste better baked in the regular oven. They will work in the toaster oven, but they're a little chewier and a little bit drier. It goes into the oven for 10 to 12 minutes until it starts to brown on the edges. This is like a breakfast cookie, so it's sweet but not overwhelming. It has a softer texture on the inside with crispier edges, and it tastes exactly like you'd expect an oatmeal raisin cookie to taste. A perfect pairing with my oat milk latte. Okay, when the afternoon rolls around, I am ready for a pick-me-up mentally and emotionally as much as physically. Why is it that cookies and lattes do such a good job of making me feel better? I am making a coconut matcha latte and orange cranberry shortbread cookie. The latte uses Sigmatic's mushroom matcha, which is a green tea with some caffeine, perfect for that afternoon boost of energy, but also a boost to the brain thanks to the lion's mane that it includes. It's also got Cola and ginger to help with stress, which can set in the afternoon as I'm running out of time to finish everything I've got to do. It can also help with digestive balance. I start with hot water and add matcha and maple syrup and whisk to integrate. Over the stove, I heat coconut milk, I prefer canned, but use whatever you'd like, and let it go over medium heat for a few minutes until warmed. Add in the matcha mixture and then let that boil together. Once it comes to a boil and is warm to your liking, you can serve. Now, I am not gonna lie, I haven't ever been huge on matcha because it's tasted bitter to me. This, because it is higher quality, is very smooth, especially with that rich coconut milk, and I love the hint of sweetness from the maple syrup. I added a bit of orange zest on top too. It's especially delicious with my orange cranberry shortbread cookie, which is naturally gluten-free because it is an almond flour base. For this cookie, I combine melted butter and powdered sugar to start. And then I mix in almond flour and salt. That is the shortbread dough base. I'm mixing in cranberries and a small bit of orange zest for flavor. Remember, this is a single serving, so don't feel like you've got to overdo it. And because it's a single serving, you really want to measure each ingredient with precision as best you can. Onto a sheet pan and into the oven it goes. Heads up, this one actually worked really well in the toaster oven too, so you could do this one in the toaster oven if you preferred without the texture or flavor taking a hit. The cookie tastes buttery like a shortbread, but it is light with a citrusy tang from the orange zest and the cranberries. The sweetness is perfect, complementing the rich and creamy matcha latte. In the evenings, I want comfort, sweetness, but nothing too heavy. I decided to make a hot cocoa latte with a triple chocolate chip brookie, aka a brownie cookie, but trust me, it really isn't too heavy. The latte starts with decaf coffee and your favorite milk, dairy or not, over the stove. And feel free to skip the coffee if you just want a hot chocolate. I then add in a packet of 4 Sigmatic's mushroom hot cacao with Reishi. I like these packets because they are comforting, but they aren't that sweet. They have just a little bit of coconut sugar, stevia, and cinnamon, which complement the cacao and cardamom perfectly. Once that's whisked in and it froths by boiling, you can totally use a frother too if you prefer. I serve it with a bit of whipped cream and a sprinkle of cocoa powder. The Reishi in this mix is great for evenings because it supports sleep and relieves stress, just what I want before calling it a night. The whipped cream is optional. I like the added sweetness sometimes, but it isn't necessary, especially if you're making the single serving triple chocolate chip cookie to go with it. I mean, brookie. I mix together melted butter and sugar, and then add in some whisked egg and vanilla extract. I stir in my flour, baking soda, salt, and cocoa powder. Fold in your chocolate chips. To make this triple chocolate, I added both mini milk chocolate chips as well as chopped white chocolate chips. White chocolate is my jam. You have the option again to make one huge cookie or 2 still pretty decent sized cookies. I make 2 and then save one for later. Having 1 cookie left over works better for me than having 11 leftover cookies, okay? That dough gets added to a baking sheet and then it's ready for the oven. That baby is called a brookie for a reason. It has got a crispy cookie outside but a soft brownie-like inside. It's chocolatey and sweet, balancing the hot cacao, which reminds me of the holidays from the cinnamon and cardamom spice more so than the sweetness. That is a great end to my cookie-filled day. I hope you enjoyed my cookies and coffee episode. These single-serve cookies are so fun and the lattes are a perfect pairing. Sigmatic has so many great coffees, elixirs, and blends to choose from that support your healthy lifestyle. Don't be afraid of the mushrooms. I promise you can't taste them. And if you don't believe me, the reviews on the Sigmatic site are a great place to see how other people feel about the products and how they incorporate them into their lives. I love that they leave these reviews up because it helps me determine what I want to try. When you decide what you want to try, remember that you can get 15% off your first order, plus Sigmatic is currently having their biggest sale of the year, their winter sale, offering up to 50% off their most popular products. Check out the link in the description box to snag the deal. All of the recipes I shared can be found linked in the description too. Thanks to Sigmatic for sponsoring this video and for making these latte and cookie recipes possible. I will see you all next week with a brand new episode, and remember, it's all a matter of mind over munch.